Studio mic on.
Get ready.
And you guys are talking, how aren't you? Well, hi and welcome everybody to War Talk, episode 1.47, the Big Guns patch, or as we call it, the compensation patch. With me today is PAX Founder 1 and AverageAdam, who you all recognize probably if you've been here before on Metagamingtv. PAX Founder 1 is hosting on twitch.tv/PaxFounder1 usually. He streams over there. He is going to be one of the regular hosts here on the War Thunder podcast that we're going to be starting doing hopefully on a weekly basis here on Saturdays, with the goal to upload it so you guys can watch it and listen to it on YouTube. I guess by Monday would be a goal. Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
Good, you?
I'm doing great. I'm a little bit nervous since it's the first time. Guys can probably tell. Maiden voyage.
Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the last patch. There will be mentions about. We're gonna discuss the wager system a little bit more in detail, and as well as bombers is some of the topics that we've put down here. We don't know how long it's gonna run. It's the first time, so our goal is to not go further than or longer than 2 hours, and we will see if we manage to keep it less or how we're gonna deal with that. It's our first time. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, let's start with a little bit of an introduction, I guess. Like, let's start with you, PAX Founder, then, since you're probably the most new face on this channel, at least. Tell the people who you are, what you do, and like, yeah, what you do on your channel. What do you stream?
Oh, right. Basically, hi, I'm PAX Founder with a 1 at the end. Redundantly, I own both accounts, PAX Founder and PAX Founder 1. Long story on that one, but I basically mostly stream sim battles. Kind of trying to be more of an advocate toward the sim community and be a voice. Also, a gateway to people who want to try sim. I do things like on Sundays, Learning Sim Sundays. It used to be Saturdays, but we're switching into Sundays due to this podcast thing. And basically, it's an atmosphere that you can jump in with a friendly environment and take the baby steps toward if you want to learn a little bit more about sim mode and maybe pertain and get interested in it and actually start doing it more often. Because it is quite a niche, small little community, right? And so development of growth within that community would be a nice positive light toward getting, shorter queue times, more people to play with, et cetera, et cetera. And that's been my primary focus for the past month, I think, so far. Yeah, when it comes to that. Before that, it's just basically streaming to meet people within the community and just get to know the people within this game. And so far, in sim particularly, you pretty much know 45% of the community within a month, just because there's not that many people. It's like you learn the names real quickly. Within your time zone anyways, and then occasional weekend streams to meet people from like Russia and England, stuff like that, and then get more diverse. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell when it comes to it.
You we took you away from something you usually do on Saturdays, right? Like you do some type of like flight sim school.
Yeah, I was just talking about Learning Sim Saturdays. Now it's Learning Sim Sundays because of the podcast. So it'll be starting up tomorrow midday GMT -7, so like noonish, 1 o'clock-ish Mountain Time. And this Sunday we're covering Focke-Wulfs. So the infamous Focke-Wulf, the flat spin of death. We're going to be covering that thing, and we have quite the expert who's going to be coming on as the teacher. His name is Party Pooper, and he's got a ridiculous stat in the Focke-Wulfs. It's his favorite plane, and we're going to go over basically a little bit about the history of them, the different models, the pros and cons, how to fly them, how to use them as a nation of Germany, which is probably the skill, the hardest of skilled nations within sim mode because of the flight models and how they perform. It's a nation of cunning, so it'll be an interesting thing to see tomorrow and see how things go, especially for mouse users, because for mouse users in sim mode with the Focke-Wulf, it's probably the hardest because you cannot turn. Like, you cannot turn very well. It's got a wicked roll rate, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, I hopefully we'll get a good turnout like last time. Last time we had it was 70 people watching. We had about 30 people in the custom battle, and we were doing what was it last week? We were doing, what was it? I don't know. We were doing bombers at the start, and then we were doing more like an advanced wingman tactic thing, and then we just kind of like moved off from that. So yeah, we'll see how she goes. But yeah, that's what I do on Sundays.
Awesome. Adam, do you want to tell the people who you are and what you do and what you play?
So I'm the average individual, AverageAdam. I mean, I don't do any fancy flight scores. I just kind of just play arcade and just grind stuff and just I kind of just display the game and just try and help again as many people out, because when people normally start, they do normally start with arcade. So, if they have any questions, they sometimes tend to fall onto me, and there we go. That's kind of my role in the community. First person in.
You're like, here's how to kill 10 people
Here's
and
how
do
to kill
that
10
wager in arcade easily.
I did that 20 times in a row. So
20 times in a row.
yeah, I did both those wagers one after the other without a fail. I was so surprised. We'll get to those.
We'll get to those then. You can brag more about that later. And for you guys wondering, I'm Scream112. With Adam hosting a lot on here on Metagamingtv streaming. I do play arcade. I did the other thing. I started out in realistic battles, actually, kinda. I did like arcade for very short time and was dragged quickly in by the viewers and people into do realistic, which I do love, actually. I actually think realistic is amazing, fun, and exciting. It's like a good balance for me. But still, when you watch the stream, mostly you'll see me play arcade. And I do that in tanks too, when I grind them. But when I don't grind them, I prefer to go in actually all the way even to sim sometimes. Again, was pulled in by some of you guys watching or listening. Some of you guys were like, you have to try this, especially that event. That event that removed all the HUDs and stuff. That I never thought I would like that, but that was great fun. That was great fun. So I do like to step up one mode, but sim, no, that's that's scary. Like I'll watch a horror movie rather. At the moment.
Goodbye, instructor.
Goodbye, instructor. Like, where's my instructor?
How do I keep it going straight? Why is it not going straight?
Why I turned on the engine and the plane went right. Can you explain?
Yeah.
Like, damn it. Yeah.
What's engine torque?
What is that thing that when I try and take off, I go to left or right? What is that?
I knew I should have paid attention in physics in school. I don't know. All right. Well, the main topic and the considering the title of the episode, the current patch or the last patch, the 1.47, the big guns, the compensation patch, compensating for those big guns or small guns, maybe.
Look at my
guns.
gun. It's so big.
Introducing a lot of cool things and a lot of controversial things and a lot of things people thought some people liked, some people didn't. We're gonna look at that. Let's start with you, Pax. There. What is there anything in particular that you think was pretty awesome in the 1.47 patch?
One of my personal favorites is probably the Focke-Wulf 200. Sorry, Focke-Wulf 200. It's got like a minimum fuel load of like 6 hours. It makes no sense, because it was meant for like long range playing. But besides that, for changes, really not. I mean, I like the fact that they, along with it, which wasn't really a highlight of the patch, was this absolute sim mode. I like that particularly. That they've kind of like brought that into full swing a bit.
The one that removes all the HUDs and all the things, all the markers, no minimap.
I like that.
Look out the window. What do you see?
Yeah, exactly. And then the tanks. It's no longer a game of just looking at the bottom right corner of your screen, waiting for a red dot to pop up, and then you look up and actually look at the game. Like, oh shit, there's graphics. Like, look at this. Now you're actually like scanning the horizon. And the okay, I guess another one would be the implementation of binoculars. Huge. That was needed badly.
Especially in sim, I imagine.
No, the binoculars for the tanks.
Yeah, but I imagine they were like they have a huge use in sim.
Oh,
mode.
massive use, yeah, because you can quickly, effectively look around you without having to wait for the turret to kind of catch up with you. And then if you actually click the was it middle mouse button down, I believe it is, wherever it's activated to, it'll rotate the turret to where the binoculars are looking as well. So a little bit nice.
I'm learning there here. Right
yeah,
now.
man, for sure. And then they gave you that the tank driver view, which is nice because sometimes when you're in that third person view, it is technically the best view, but sometimes like trees will give you like a hard angle to see down on near the dirt level. So if you go to the driver view, you get a little bit more of a lower level, so that way like the tree branches, something that don't get in the way, and you can kind of see what's directly ahead of you. So those little changes to tanks was a huge plus, I think, for a lot of the tanker guys, because then they can actually more visibility options. Like there's nothing wrong with having more options for looking around for sure. Situational awareness is key in that mode, so it's a big plus. Those are probably one of my favorite aspects of the patch. Little things like that.
The driver mode.
Driver modes, binoculars.
The driver view.
Yeah, big ones.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty big though. I think it's big. Like I mean, like you're saying, like it did so much to sim, right? Like like to me that definitely sounds like a major impact on the gameplay. So what do you think, Adam?
Oh, I'm gonna have to be biased and go with my favorite part was the mouse, the literally big gun of the big gun patch. I mean, it's 180 tons of sheer enjoyment. It might be the slowest thing and the last thing to the battlefield, but you know it's there.
The sound design on that tank is impeccable. I'll give you that. Oh. Like it's just, you can hear that thing a mile away and like, oh shit, what is that? Oh no, I know what that is.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I actually drove it, I had to turn down the in-game engines just because of that. Because it is just so loud, and you know when you've got a few on your team where you don't even need to look around and you can just hear the rumbling. But as you said with the binoculars, I mean, one of the biggest weaknesses of the mouse is obviously its cheeks. So actually binoculars even help in arcade because you can use the binoculars to sort of rotate and be able to zoom in and see if somebody's looking at you, so you can get that shot. Yep. So even in arcade, a nice little touch that I actually quite like. But no, the mouse. Yep. The mouse was my best favorite part.
I'm one of the few who haven't unlocked it yet, I guess. I feel behind. I feel so behind. I played it, like I've tried it. You know, I've tried it in test, and I've tried it on another account, but like not like I haven't gotten like as much game time as Adam has. Adam has like he can turn a whole day into just playing the mouse.
I mean, it's a great grinding tank too. I mean, you can just literally just be a tank for your team. You just sit anywhere on the map, and people just see you and just go, I'm just going to put bullets into that. I don't care if I can or can't penetrate it. I'm just going to put bullets. And you'll just get XP. And it would literally just grind. I grinded the Yag Panther in a... Like, it took me 2-3 days to get the mouse. It took me like a day to get the Yag Tiger. And they're the same amount. It's like, that's just how awesome this thing is.
What's like the turn time on that thing on the mantle? Like 9 minutes or something?
No, it's actually pretty quick.
It's actually pretty
9
quick?
seconds.
9 seconds to turn that thing in a full 360?
Oh, what? The whole tank or the turret?
No, the turret, the mantle.
Yeah, 9 seconds.
9 seconds?
9 seconds.
That's an arcade?
It's gotta be different.
Okay. It's got because I've watched it in different.
It's faster in simulator.
Bullshit.
It's 8 seconds in simulator.
Oh wow.
Oh no, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Turret rotation speed 8 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
It is. It's surprisingly quick. Like a lot of people are like, is that thing really turning that fast? Because as I said,
that's a lot of metal to be pushed.
There's a lot of kilos.
Its biggest weakness is its massive cheeks. It needs to get in and out of the way. Otherwise, it's just going to get slapped in the face by an IS-4, and then there goes your massive heavy tank, and now you're very sad because you spent 5 hours.
Is the second gun even useful at that tier? Having that smaller gun?
No, it's good for just annoying people with it. Like it's like 50 cals on the M103. You just throw it at them just to cause frustration because it throws dirt up and it's just annoying. It's just there to be an annoyance. I mean, I have managed to knock out somebody's guns. They couldn't shoot me with it, and I've killed
like the
really
bishops and stuff like that, or not the bishop, but that tier 1 tank with that fixed forward gun, and then they actually had the mantle one on top there. That's what I'm talking about. The Grant.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
and
the
the M103
in a sense of where you kind of stick to the big gun, and then. Well, actually, that tier with that one, you can kind of pen things still with that smaller gun too.
Well, that tier again, it's only a tier 1 tank, so yeah, you can pen pretty much.
No, I've seen guys actually they can actually like those are posted on Reddit of where if you use HE rounds at the point between the mantle and the main hull, you can get explosive splash damage on the crew within the tank. So there's something to think about. Like if you got one of those like dual guns, you have shooting 2 rounds at them, you got the big slugger to try to pen, and then you have this HE round from a smaller gun trying to get basically explosive splash on the crew controlling the mantle. So I'm not too sure if that's intentional that you can shoot between the mantle thing. Technically that would be wise because I mean like historically, a lot of tanks got knocked out because a shell just got jammed in the mantles turning, right? I mean, there's an option
No,
there. So kind of,
it's a very effective way of killing an IS-4 and an IS-3, and the T-54 is, I mean, it only works with guns of over 120 millimeters, but you throw a high explosive shell right in the mantle, it'll just explode right in and take out even one shell and just annihilate the entire tank. So it is, I mean, I don't think it will work with the Mouse's gun, but, you know, if you can jam it in there, it'll just explode straight in, the tank will die. So no, it is absolutely a very viable tactic, and a lot of people, I didn't believe it when people first started saying about it, but as soon as
it's definitely an interesting little tank to
it,
bring to the table, especially because, you know, they have to counter whatever wargaming does, right? They have to be their own staple. So wargaming didn't add the Mouse, obviously. So War Thunder adding it, you know, something different, right? We're going to offer that what wargaming can offer in a sense for like content. So that makes you kind of wonder too, like down the road, maybe when it comes to ships, what are they going to offer that wargaming isn't? I know wargaming is not doing U-boats, so are we going to see potentially U-boats and ships?
Unfortunately, I think there's even like official words, like quotes you can find on the forum. I know because we've discussed this before on the streams, and people have pointed to it, where they are saying that they're not doing U-boats.
Not doing you. Oh man, you're missing out potential.
Sorry, dude. I'm all on board with you there. Heck, that could be a topic on its own. I could go miles with that topic. Why? Oh, I guess we have a topic then for another episode.
When ships come out, mark my words, the swordfish is going to be a plane to reckon with. It's going to.
Oh my god! It will finally be no longer. It's my top list of useless planes. The swordfish.
I love the swordfish to death. I love that thing.
No. I'm on the bandwagon of no U-boats would be great.
I think it'd be great.
There's just not enough ships that be able to do anything against them.
And I'm one of those to say that, like I've said before, that, you know, finding a way to make U-boats in the gameplay be balanced and not OP, which is what has been said. I think that's a challenge, but it's one of those where I'm like, hey, as a game designer or a game designer team, shouldn't you take on that challenge? Like be the ones who can do that. Like find a way.
Well, they want to diversify. That's a given. They have to. They're a competition. They have to offer something that the other person
maybe
is
they'll
not.
Change their mind. Like we obviously don't know. Like,
well, I know that they held back things from this patch. I mean, if you read up on the lesser response threads there, he's one of the guys from the plane dev part of it, and there's a lot of stuff that was pushed back for this compensation patch of like, look how big my dick is, like I got a mouse, I got a B-29, yeah, America. But America. But I mean, like, there's a whole naval line of planes coming out for 1.45 for British potentially. There's a lot of stuff like 1.49 around the bend is going to be like, in quotations from lesser, content heavy.
Yeah,
so like this patch brought, besides a trickle handful of new planes, it brought something else that we should all talk about, and that is wagers. And
all right.
Boosts.
But I haven't said what was my favorite part of the patch yet.
Sorry.
All right, go on. Well, let's give him his little
skipping me here in the corner just because I'm like, all right. It's because I'm bald, I know. But I actually like I might have said this as a joke before, but I mean, people are gonna laugh, but I do find the dirt really, really fun. Have you driven in that dried up riverbed that is on, I think it's Mostock?
It's an interesting implementation for sure. I mean,
because it covers the tank. Like, you will not see the tank.
I have never seen someone request that feature. Not once. Like, no one in the forum's like, hey, you should really have dirt on the tanks when they get in the mud. I never saw that. And all of a sudden, boom, they implemented it. It was like, it wasn't even like a major highlight. And it's got like a gray dirt scale. It's got a wet, like when you get on the rainy maps and you start going to the mud, it's like thick, dark, clayish mud. And then you can wash it off in water. Like, how freaking cool is that? It's just this little immersion thing.
Don't you think it's part of the destructible terrain, like the deformation of terrain?
Deformation?
Like it maybe runs on the same system type of thing there where they could do that because they did that. Like,
it's like a copy paste of a little bit of Spin Tire's code.
Oh yeah, dude. Like we were waiting for the official word where Gaijin bought Spin Tire development team. Like, I mean, with the tow wires
all
and
signs
everything.
Point to yes. They got a tow mechanic for Pete's sake. So
I mean, isn't the developers of Spin Tires Russians?
Yeah.
Like,
Who knows?
Conspiracy.
Maybe we're onto something, man. The pyramid's getting taller.
Illuminati.
And I want to say, I think I've unlocked it, but I haven't spent the alliance on it yet, because I've been focusing so much on tanks lately. But the B-29 is something that, like,
I don't like that.
like
plane.
from
like
the
that plane.
info that I'm getting from viewers and people is that you take out like one bomb target, like you take out like a base with that, like you don't have to return to base.
It's got a payload beyond belief. It's a slow, lumbering, gigantic, massive plane of fly high. Now,
It was one
I
of
don't
the
know
planes that people were like requesting for a long time, wasn't it? Like,
I
it's one of
know
those, yeah.
they want that thing to bits, and I think they
I like blowing
secretly
it to
wanted
bits.
to have a nuke bomb in it, but yeah, I know.
Please no.
Just
I know.
please.
Yeah, no.
Maybe they'll do the nuke as a as
Alright,
one of,
we have
like
kill
as the
streaks.
artillery, yeah, kill streaks.
Kill
like
streaks,
you'll
25
unlock
kills.
it, and you know, you get 20 kill streaks, something like that. You'll unlock it, you'll just drop it, and GG.
Prestige 9 in War Thunder. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun.
nukes,
You took
yeah,
off.
B-29.
Dun, 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 dun. You jumped off a cliff. Dun, 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 dun. No. I don't know if that would fly.
I think that would be pretty cool. All right. Well, I feel that's that. As you did say, we want to go into depth with the wager system.
Yes.
Is it better than the ×2 daily? Was it daily first win bonus type of thing? It was called.
Yeah.
You logged in. You played your. You could do that with every country too. Like you did it once with each nation. You would have double the RP in your first victory.
Nation specific, that's right. Upon first victory. So you have to, your team is obviously winning that round if you're going to get it. So there's a good chance you're doing better in that round if you are going to get the win. So it made it a little better in the sense of where you're going to be on the winning side when you get the ×2. So evidently you might be on the better push. So there's a pro in that sense. And the fact that you can go through each nation and get your ×2.
So
well,
you
except
have
for
a
Simbo.
few. Yeah.
In Simo, we kind of got shafted on that one because the fact that it's only usually 2 nations open at the time. So it's like we'd be staring at these ×2 for a whole week in 3 other nations we can't even use. And we're just looking at, and just to add insult to injury, you'll have, like, for example, in rotation, British versus Germany. Why not? And in the event for Sim would be British versus Germany. Why not make that like Japan and America or something, so then we can get more ×2 done? No, it's the same freaking nations. I
kind of feel your
that's just
pain
an
there.
example of like you get your ×2s because that was part of like the reason to log in. That was the reason they implemented it, right? They wanted you to come in daily, do a little game, get out if you don't really want to. Just a way to get people playing. But in like if you're just doing the exact same ×2s in the main queue, and then you go to the event in this exact same 2 nations, it's redundant. I mean, for RB and AB, yeah, they're all open. So the ×2 is easy. You pick your highest tier planes, whatever, the ones that you're grinding, or the ones that you know you're really good at to get that extra line boost and RP boost, and you go at it through each nation. And especially with Arcane, like, that's great because then you can bring like 6 planes or whatever to the fight and just get that lovely ×2 across the board. So it was a good system in the sense of just, it was simplicity of the system was nice. Now, as for this like boost system,
I have a question about the ×2. How far back did you play War Thunder?
When it was out of Airplane Alpha, back when they had like ×4s and stuff like that.
So because I wanted to know that, because that was almost like a controversial topic on our channel at one time where people claimed, and we we didn't really know if it was true, that someone claimed that it used to be at ×5 daily.
There was higher times, like way back when this game was fresh as the daisy. I mean, technically they call it beta. It's still beta now, according to them. But sure, okay, whatever. I mean, it's a good excuse thing. You know, we broke something. It's beta.
Yeah, but so it actually, like,
there was time, like, and then during the holidays they would do like ×6s and stuff like that. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Wow.
But then they kind of made that, now it's like a very special occasion. Well, sorry, not anymore. But yeah, it was also easier to unlock things back then too, and then progressively through the, like, 1.37 was a big changer. and everything became much harder to grind. They changed the whole rank structure from like 1 to 20 to
well,
1
we
to
were there then.
right.
That we've
Exactly.
seen.
That was a big game changer right there when it came to grinding. But yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where
I
I
was
said.
just curious if it had been higher way back.
Yes, it felt a lot faster back in the day.
But I don't know. I would almost defend those decisions and go like way back then they were probably more into testing than actually release, and they wanted people to be able to quickly get things done to test and things like that. And you know, you don't have to be that smart to realize like such a high reward would have been crazy.
Yeah, and we're talking about a long time ago too. You weren't exactly grinding jets at the time. Like you were also grinding like tier 3 or 4. You got to put that into factor too. Now I'm sitting there looking at my last F9F and sabers and just like, oh my god, it's forever.
it doesn't move. It doesn't move.
Even in a game mode that's roughly ×6 the gain of arcade, you still feel that grind. You're like, that was a wicked round, and you go to the back to the main hangar and you see that scoreboard come up, and you're looking at that progress bar for the saber, and it's literally like a pixel wide sliver of gain, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool.
And you're not sure if that pixel is actually the glow around
the
actual movement.
Is that some type of like, do I have to turn up my anti-aliasing? What is that? So it's a different game when you're unlocking a much higher RP unlock plane compared to back then. And then also the game was newer, and you were just too happy. Everything was pretty and shiny, and woo, War Thunder. And now it's just like, we're getting into the thick of it and just trying to hone in exactly what this game is going to be when it decides to remove the beta tag and just be called War Thunder.
And they have like most of you guys watching and listening might know, in the last patch they removed the login, like the daily first win ×2 bonus to research points, which would allow you to progress. They changed that and added something that a lot of people compare it to Counter-Strike Go's type of chests that you open.
Battle packs.
Yeah, where you in War Thunder you log in every day, or on a day, and for the first time, and you get a type of crate chest type of thing, and you open it and you have a random chance of getting something out of a pool of rewards. It could be you could get a boost, so that, like, for example, if you win a game or you play a game, you'll get like 100 and maybe 50% more RP. It could be lions. You could get something called, which is kind of the name of this topic, which is wager system, where you get like a wager where you pretty much put down like a bit of lions, which is the freemium currency in this game, and the more you put in, there's a cap though, the more you put in, the higher the reward if you meet certain criteria and goals, depending on which type of wager you got. The question in this topic is pretty much, do we like that better, or do we think it's worse? Was this a good move? Where can they go with this? Stuff like that. Like, is this better or worse overall? What do we think there? Adam, you start.
I mean, whether or not it's better or worse is a difficult question. Only because, for me, who's grinded a lot of stuff, on, say, my British jets and my now Russian tier, I don't have anything left to grind on those. So those 2x experience would kind of be pointless for me at this point. So I don't really gain anything from those. But obviously, if I can then if I get the 200% bonus, I can put all of that into something I am grinding for. So I can literally put, double the amount that I would have got from a win of the day of one nation and put it all into one nation. So that's great, especially if I'm grinding something really late tier like a jet. I can then put loads and loads of research points into it. On the other hand, I then don't get, I don't get the other sort of little things all over the place. So in that instance, it's kind of lame, because if you did,
it benefits the newer players for sure. Compared to like someone who's like pretty much done, right?
Right, absolutely. The 2x, because you get, if it's double, so you get 100% extra. You get 500% extra because there's 5 nations. So the 200%, you get essentially a third of the total amount, and that's only if you get the 200 times one. there's 150, I think. So I think, but that's only for one game. So you could even get.
Is there anything
you know,
above 200%?
No, and then
No.
it's only for one game.
And even then, it's sometimes redundant because they'll have it so that it's split up in a sense of where you get 150% RP gain, and it's only good for one round. And then they'll give you a 75% one that's good for 2 rounds, which equals to the exact same freaking thing. You just whether or not you spread it across 2 rounds or 1 round.
But then you can spread it
Mathematically,
across
it's exactly
two
the same.
nations.
Yeah.
Like
That's true. That's true. So it
I
does
mean-
give you variety.
yes, but if it was 100% for 2 games, then it would be kind of the same as the 2 times. But then you're again, so you know overall you are losing out on research points.
Relatively
However,
slower than usual. But remember, too, you have to, something else you have to consider in is that there are people in the game that potentially also have that 10% team boost as well. Now, how many actually have it going on, I don't know. But there's some that to factor in as well. But I've never felt the impact of that.
I want to correct you guys. Twitch chat is saying there is definitely 300% all the way up to 500% for one match.
Holy shit!
I've
Well-
never seen that.
People are saying they have seen it and they've.
I
gotten
want
it.
I want to see that. That sounds amazing. Now that
For
would
one
put all
match.
well, still that would put all of your research that you've ever that would put the 5 nations, 100% all into one nation. That would be amazing for me because I could then just go, I want to grind an American jet, 500%, boom. That is a massive chunk.
The pressure is on you to do one good game.
The pressure is on.
Win or lose.
Win or lose.
So if you
But-
get stomped, there's
Well
the
then you are
500%.
going to be super salty.
Yeah. So if you get stumped in like regular the times too, it was okay. Well, we lost. Go at it again and potentially be in a better game. But yeah, nonetheless, it's up to you to decide. I mean, how skilled you're going to be in that next round, whether or not. So it's a.
But
yeah.
you can activate it. Like you don't
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
So you could win your first game. Like as you said, if you're on the winning team, you have a percentage chance of doing better than you should normally do. But let's say you're like, I don't really want to activate this wager right now. I want to warm up first, get a few games in. I can get that warm up going. One or two
Absolutely.
games in, I'm like, you know what? I feel confident now. I've had a few good games. Maybe this will be the one. Activate it. Done. Then you have a much higher potential. Of
You
then
decide
even
when
getting more.
you decide when you want to partake.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
a question that I don't. It's been a while since the 2 times it has been around. I can't remember. Did it also do lions,
No.
or was it just RP?
I think it was just RP. But
Because
now I'm not sure because no, it was RP. It was like
I think it was just RP
Yeah.
when they were doing the 2 times. I don't remember it being lions as well.
I bet
So-
my as that Twitch chat will soon catch up and tell us.
I'm sure they will. But so then on the flip side, you could get a wager that gets you lions.
It was
And I know-
selected. Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there that do have a problem with gaining lions. They're you say that the grind is quite can be quite long, especially towards the end. But at the beginning,
It was both.
oh, it was both.
Yeah.
Oh, some Wicked says just RP. So I'm going to presume it's 1 for now. Oh well, before no, that doesn't count. So you can then go, all right, well, maybe I'll get a chance to get a lion boost. And in early tiers, you might be unlocking stuff rather quickly. So you might not have enough lions to get all the things. So an extra lion boost could be actually quite useful. I mean, I feel that, I had, how much was it? I think it was 75k left. Because I just bought the IL-28. And then I had the 10 times, get 10 kills in the game 10 times to get the 500,000 one. I think I obviously completed them both, and now I'm on 2 million lines. So I went from nothing to 2 million in literally a day.
The
And I mean, that wasn't a large grind.
the wager ones that those that like for some people might be easy to do and complete. We'll go through them real soon, but definitely getting to there's definitely some of those wagers which allows you to gain lions and I mean, this depends on the player, I guess. Like if
And you
are-
can stack
if
them
you
too,
are-
right? Like you can put a line one with an RP one. That's fine. You can, if you stack RP with RP, then it starts decreasing itself.
Mhm.
But you have
I-
one of each. It's fine. They won't.
Really?
They won't.
Ugh, I've
Well, now
never
you're
tried
talking.
that.
Now you're talking boosts, which you can stack.
Yeah, the boost you can
but
stack.
the wager,
If
I'm
you
not
s-
sure.
No. If you try to override a wager, it will delete
Yeah.
the other wager.
Yeah.
So you
And
got
you
to
don't
be
even, you don't
careful
even
now.
get a reward, right? Like if you were halfway through that wager, you're overriding. You're not even getting the reward.
I've never been down
Question mark.
there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, someone will have to figure that out. But try that. But that's what I'm saying is that one of the the wager, like for example, the one Adam did, which was that he put down like what is it you put down? You put down like
I think it's 10K.
Yeah,
It's not a
10K
lot.
lions, which isn't much, and you have to kill 10 enemy players in a game.
In 10 games. Yeah.
And for each time you manage to do that, you level up and get a higher reward. And you can fail 3 times. And
Nope, not the 10 kill one. You can fail 10 times with the 10 kill one. It's the only one that gives you loads of chances. Yep.
Oh wow. Okay then.
The 10 kill one is you get 10 opportunities to do it.
So that one is pretty well. I don't want to say it's easy because there's obviously people out there struggling to get 10 kills in a game. But for confident players that feel they can do it. But for many people, you will. I mean, if you have 10 attempts, you will get some lions from that, and that's one of those that you can definitely get a lot of lions from. But you gotta get lucky then. You gotta get those wagers out of the crates that when you log in. You might be unlucky and just get the RP boosts.
I mean, there is a crate that gives you 3 or 4 different items. I think that's like the 15-day one or the 17-day one. Where you get 3 or 4 items, so you can get like a few wagers, an RP boost, a lion boost. So you can get multiple things in one of the crates, but the rest of the days, yes, it is only
The
one.
idea is that you log in every day, and by doing so, you increase the amount of increase the level of reward that you get out of the
Log in
crate.
every day, unlock your time expiring, whatever it may be.
Oh yeah, they are time expiring too. This is something we need to tell
Here's
you.
the thing.
So you get something.
There is ones that are not time expiring, and that's the ones that you actually do that gambling thing, kind of like in Counter-Strike, of where you get keys and whatever. Or you just, in this case, you just buy Golden Eagles and bet on a
crate.
certain crate and like a slight chance of getting like, a D9 premium Russian Focke-Wulf.
All right. Do you guys want to touch on the subject of how likely you are to get said premium vehicle?
There was a guy who spent like an astronomical amount of money and didn't get it. I can't remember what the exact. It was like 800. Don't quote me on it.
I mean, people in Twitch said some time ago that he spent $1,000.
Yeah.
and then I mean they're claiming he did it. They're claiming he did it as like he wanted to, what do you call it? Like make some stats for it. Like he wanted to like show you.
It's reading something like that. Then in the back of my head knows that this is gonna stay. When people are gonna do that, spend that much money.
It doesn't matter if nobody else does it. If one guy does it, the guy just like, okay, we're good.
It's early. It's early with this thing. I get the battle pack thing. It's pretty cool. Like it works in Counter-Strike because in Counter-Strike, that whole system is based off the community. The community decides what is worth value. And the things that you can get are worth like a shit ton of real life money.
Oh yeah, because you can sell and trade the knives, right?
Exactly.
That people seem to be going for.
In this system, it's internal. Gaijin controls what you get, and there's not a lot there on the table to bet on. There's just a couple premium planes and stuff like that. So, and you get the potential of getting a wage or whatever, and those stick. They're not timed. Those ones that you get through those bets, those chest unlocks, you keep them. They're permanent. And even one of them, this is pure gambling at its finest, of where you bet. No, that's serious. You bet 299 gold eagles on a plane to try to get it. You can win 300 gold eagles. You're up. One gold eagle.
I know, right?
One gold eagle.
Dude,
to keep you going.
I've spent a few eagles.
Right when it came out, it was nasty. Right when like the first week when this thing came out, you could bet on like 2,000 like eagle crates. It was somewhere around 2,000.
Really?
And you could win back half your eagles. So
There's
it was
been
like
2,000 eagle crates?
Just like the first couple days.
God damn it! I missed that.
They got rid of it quickly.
I wonder why.
It was probably not.
Because it was bad. It was bad. You literally could win losing half of your gold eagles. That was the win. Congratulations. You spent it on absolutely nothing. There was no return. That's pure gambling. And they said, like, it's not gambling. You're right. Yeah, exactly. It is not exactly like gambling because you can't just check out. You can't turn your golden eagles into real life cash. So technically, yeah, it's not exactly like gambling. It takes away the benefits of it.
It's pretty much just a sink.
It was a sink. It was a 2000 G pack. It was a sink, an absolute sink. They made it a little bit better. They made it smaller, so it's not such a big dump. But it's so early. They need more content. They need more things put into that system that you can wager on. Because right now it's like a small pack of things, and for people who've been playing since like alpha, or people who like buying premium planes, because premium planes for the longest time, they're just a great way to grind shit, right? I mean, if you buy a tier 4 whatever and you're starting off a nation, boom, you're off to the races. You're going to get to tier 3 in like 2 days if you're competent enough to do it. Like for me to catch up with tanks, for example, because these absolute events, I mean, we did some high tier ones where it was like Bearcats and late Focke-Wulf, Dora Focke-Wulfs, and I didn't have like any of the American tanks even near it. So I bought the Pershing, or was I bought the Patton and the Pershing, the M26. That got me up to tier 3, late tier 3 in no time. I had the Dumbo Jumbo within like a day. It was great. The premiums are great in that sense. And then they put that in the wager system of the things you can get. I think it'd be cool because we have this live War Thunder website, right? It's the community place where you can put up your custom skins. And War Thunder started doing that payout system of where you can, if you buy their skin, because you can't unlock it, you have to pay for it. For the particular ones that are made by the community, they get a portion of that income. Wouldn't it be kind of kick-ass if they could somehow incorporate that into the wager system of where you can unlock, or you can potentially win some of these cool custom skins that these guys in the community made? And put that in there too, and on top of everything else as well, just add more diversity to it. Or do you think that'd be like stepping across borders of monetization for these guys, where if they made a really good skin, you want it, you buy it, and they get their X amount?
I feel they still should get a portion if somebody unlocks it. You know what I mean? Like that should count as a sale somehow. Like
anyone else? I don't know if you guys noticed that too much. Like actually, this one guy makes a good point in the patch is that flaps kind of got messed up a little bit. Like they break off so easily. Does that happen a lot? I mean, RB it'll happen.
Do you know in arcade when flaps break off?
Yeah, flaps don't break off in arcade.
No,
not at all.
No, but like at different modes when you get a certain flaps are snapping like left, right, and center. It's crazy. But
I heard a lot of people. I did hear a lot of people complaining about that when it happened. Like people only flying like 200 miles per hour.
Those coming in late, compensation patches talking about big guns. Like I got look at my big gun compensation. For those who don't know what that's about.
I like the idea of the wager system. Like I guess we should have called it like the crate system that gives you different. Like, let's say that.
dog dare you system. Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of spending money, opening a crate, and having the excitement of maybe getting something. But I'm scared that the chance of getting those premium vehicles, because the only crate I've been spending on is trying to get the Patton Tiger one.
Okay.
Because I don't know that like I looked at them and I was like, I want that one, and I've spent on that quite a bit, and I keep like I said, they share this information on the forum where someone spent so much money without getting it. I'm scared of what the percentage is, and I feel I want Gaijin to go out and be open with what the odds are, so that people know, at least they so people know what the odds are. So they know what they're kind of gambling on. Because if it's like half a percent, I feel we're getting tricked. But the problem is that we really don't know. It's just up in the speculative air where we're all like, well, it feels like it might be bad. It feels like it might be good. Like, depending on because we have people in our Twitch chat that I know got it on the first crate, or others that got it on the first 5. And then we have people like me and others who've been getting 10, 20, so the question is, how rare is the premium vehicle, which I'm assuming is the most rare thing in the crate, in out of all the rewards you can get. But I like the idea. I kind of have hope and believe that they will bring it to a better place, because right now
I think it needs tweaking badly.
Oh yeah.
I think it doesn't cross the different game modes very well. It's very arcade focused when it comes to how it works, because of the X amount of planes you can bring. You can try to just grind your way to get to that 10 kills, for example. While it just basically just okay, well times 2.
Oh yeah, let's talk
RB,
about
times 2
the
SB.
wagers, like the wager specifically. So
Yes,
like
yes.
if so you'd log in daily, that is obviously free, and you get something out of a crate, and then obviously you can spend money on opening more crates. That is pretty much what they've done to or added to the game, instead of daily first win victory bonus. And we have battle victory where you have to win 10 games. You have destroy 5 units, which essentially is kill 5 people. Destroy 10 units, which is kill 10 people. Mission Maker, which is kill first and last thing. You need to get the first kill and the last kill in a game, in a round. Hero of the Sky, which is kill the most air units, players. Which yeah, we'll get to it. Thunder Wager, kill the most ground. Wingman, have the most assist, and Best Squad, where whichever like either you.
I like Best Squad. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one too. But there's definitely something we can teach listeners and viewers if they're wondering how do you do Best Squad. But okay, let's go from the top then. Like, what do you guys think? Battle victory, win 10 games.
Easy.
Reasonable.
Very reasonable.
Mm.
Doesn't matter. Sim.
And how much, like, we're talking? All these reward you. Like, they're different ones. Like,
yes.
are all these like Silver Lions or?
All of these are Silver Lions.
Most of them, except for the Gold Wager. Yeah.
Yeah, there is one. I didn't put it on that list, but there is one other, which is the Gold Eagle one. But the Battle Wager, all of them, but the Destroy 5 units give you 500,000, 500,000. The Destroy 5 units, I think, only does 300,000 or 200,000. It only has 3 levels, so you only need to do it 3 times, and you can fail 3 times. It's probably the least demanding of all of them, because you need to play 3 games essentially. All the others you need to play at least 10 games.
Yeah, games can run by pretty quickly in arcade, and I mean we're talking like 45-minute games and sometimes RB and Sim, so 20 games is quite the session.
Yeah.
And especially when they're timed, if you got them from the pack, the daily pack. So it's like you got X amount of time to get this many missions done, and depending on how much free time you actually have to play this game, that could be quite a difficult thing to get. I mean, like, yeah. So that's something to consider in too. And then like these destroy unit wager ones. Well, we all know the story behind those ones when it comes to like which game mode you're in. That could
that's
fun.
Definitely arcade.
If they just made it across the board equally when it came to like the timesing, because like what we were talking about before we actually started this thing up was how Gaijin approaches the times depending on what you're playing, RB, AB, or SB, of where in skins it'll be a ×6, while in titles it'll be a ×4, and then these wagers it's a ×2. Well, who's the guy behind the helm here? Is like, oh, it's like he's got like dice in his hand. Like, yeah, this one's gonna be ×4.
Like a D10 or
Throw a dice.
We're not gonna dice. What does SB have to deal with today? All right, we'll make that 10.
a lot of shit.
So if you get the 10 kill wager, you got to get 5 kills in that game. That's acing. That's considered called acing around in Sim.
Yep.
And they have 5 kills.
And I mean,
okay. Let me go grab my UFO plane.
5 kills in a sim battle. That is one of those challenges I want to throw out to anyone listening or watching. Like go into sim, get 5 kills, and do it on like a regular basis. Do it like every other game. And come back with your results.
I'm just gonna ace this round. No big deal. Get this wager out of the way. It's freaking excuse me.
Well, you say that. I mean, as an arcade scrub lord like myself, I did it 20 times in a row.
No, arcade, absolutely, because you bring so many planes to the fight, and it fits that game mode so well. It's a perfect system. I mean, it's a perfect idea. They have to tweak it. That's all they got to do. Just tweak it a little bit.
I do feel like 2 times isn't enough.
And when it's 5 kills, it's not even mathematically sound. That means it's not even why isn't it not divisible by 2? Divisible by because that's 3 kills. That means you have to get in their timesing
3 kills by game.
6.
6.
Right?
Change it to 9 then. So then you can have 3 6.
The 10 one makes sense because that's divisible by 2. Since you have to get 5.
But that just seems so unfair. And 5 times just seems a little
screwed, just a little bit.
I know. I do agree. I feel like sim player on that one as well. I mean, Even the
kill
destroy the
someone.
5-unit one,
It
both
becomes
of them.
this game of like, well, depending on like if you're maybe then you can work with your squad mates in a sense of like, okay, I'm gonna do the kill wager. I'm gonna try to get kills, and you can do the
Wingman.
wingman wager exactly, and then you can work together to try to like work on each other's wagers in a sense. You protect his six, but then we're talking about teamwork, so you got to have friends. So there you go. But yeah, just tweaking.
Is there any wager you guys think is really like bad?
Mission Maker? Absolutely, like the good luck.
Wait,
wager.
you don't get the first and last kill every game?
It should be like, do you wager all of your tier 5 planes for a chance to have 50,000 gold eagles and a pony? Like, I mean, it is a bitch. I mean, I think I can count on my hand how many times I've had Mission Maker.
I have one or two
because
of those. I've never bothered.
It's timing. You have to go straight into the fight, close your eyes, do the head on, get it done. Hang around for the rest of the round, wait until near the end, and come in and
wait.
Just
Just go high altitude and just dun dun just wait.
Yeah, it is. That is in arcade. You can diverse your planes and spread them across the whole round and get it done. In RB and SB, you got you. Yeah, that's it. So you have to get into the shit quick, kill something, get the fuck out of the shit, stay alive for the rest of the shit, and then
be around the last guy.
I feel like I've heard this speech before.
and then kill the last shit at the end of the round. Yay! Yeah, it's simple. I'm just gonna go up to the stratosphere and just wait for like 20 minutes until the round's almost done, and then skyrocket in and steal that last kill. Yay, Mission Maker. No, it's a tough one. They have to make that one like. I don't know. I'd personally just remove it. I think it's crazy.
Why not
but
rename it and make it be like get the first kill?
I guess some people like the challenge
like, get
accepted.
the first kill. Like the first kill. I mean, because that at least then people will be at least.
Again, you've got people rushing for it.
Yeah, but at least people rush for action then in the beginning, rather than like imagine they made it so it's only the last kill. Well, you have so many passive
action
players.
And die, and then they're a useless tip. They probably just leave the game and go to the next one, trying to go on the strike 2 of their wager.
Okay,
Right, exactly.
It becomes a very incompetent teammate, of basically where he's throwing himself at the helm, at the balls deep right into the front, gets killed out of just doing something stupid, and then you just ruined it for your whole team because you're trying to get this ridiculously hard wager done.
I have an idea. Let's remove it and add something else. Let's add Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna PM Lester and let him know, like, hey, Pax says remove Mission Maker wager. We'll just get that done right now today. Okay.
So here's my idea. Let's we. Damn, I need a red phone. Mine is white. So let's remove Mission Maker and add Mr. Nice Guy wager instead, right? Which is type something nice in chat.
What the fuck?
Wow. Yeah, I can see that one. I can see that one.
Because to improve the atmosphere in the in-game chat.
Let's add an overlay of fake kindness to the game.
It might rub off on people.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Good.
But it might rub off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like people who doesn't have it will go like, oh, this guy said something really nice in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
The internet's good at smelling bullshit.
May I use one example? I made Scream say please, and then he said please to 3 people afterwards. That rubbed off. I think we have a little what do you like to say, Scream? A something test.
They're gonna do like
social test.
I mean, it could be worth trying. I would like them to do that, like just to see what happens, right?
I'd like to see plane-specific wagers, or at least nation-specific wagers. Like, I mean, even if it's not particularly a single plane, maybe a branch of planes. X. No.
Yeah.
It would be if it's not rotation. If it's not rotation, it'd be a bitch.
If you got to get 5 kills in a yak. Oh well, sorry, you got Britain and Germany this month. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I guess not today. Unless, of course, you have a premium Russian German yak, then that gives you an excuse to buy some premium planes.
I don't think it would count.
Yeah, they usually do count. Usually, whenever you're doing like the unlocks for like decals and stuff like that or whatever, you have to get kills in like yaks or something like that. Sometimes they do like those special achievement nights or during the holiday season. The Bowfighter line or whatever. They usually count the premiums too.
They usually do.
That is incorporated, yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, diversity in the wagers would be nice for sure. I mean, getting how many assists in a round. That's not a bad one. I don't mind that one too much.
I mean, I don't like specific number ones. I do like trying to get the most on the team. But then with anything, like you don't want. I mean, the kill one, I have to say, I was a little selfish and just
You
didn't
stole
really care.
every kill.
No, I didn't steal kills.
Oh,
I
well.
just didn't really care about objectives for the 20 games. Like
The ground target one's a bit of a bitch for some people because, like, especially this is the one that actually screws arcade players. If we have to kill a certain amount of arcade, no ground targets with like a bomb of that, but then you end up getting a domination air match. What the fuck do you do? What do you do?
well,
But there are ground...
no, most domination maps do have ground forces still.
No, air domination arcade.
Oh well, then.
Yeah. You're basically.
Oh, you mean
fighting
the
over
new?
a-
You mean
like-
the new mode,
Yeah,
which
the
is
new one.
fighting over a
the
gigantic imaginary ball captain.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And
that
there's
one.
no ground targets, so that's an automatic strike one. Or at least the game should incorporate like, okay, you're in an air domination map.
Maybe we skip this.
I'm sorry, maybe we skip this one. Doesn't count.
What
That's not a
about?
strike.
All right. Well, you don't like your 10 kill one.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like the wingman one. What if we could trade them?
What is wrong with the wingman one? It's beautiful.
You
You literally do nothing.
As we have just discussed, I like to kill stuff.
I know you love to kill stuff, but
It is
you're
my
volunteering
efficiency.
for this wager. You are deciding whether or not you do this wager. So when you select it and you pick it, you're dedicating yourself to try to finish that wager. At least I think you are. And so if you decide to go and run off and kill your own things and not do your wager, that's your own fault. This wager is literally you attach like a 50-yard string to your teammate and follow him around and let him do all the work. That is literally all the wager is. Operation watch your buddy wreck shit.
So what if we could trade them? What if we could trade wagers? Wouldn't that be kind of like?
Oh, you want to get a trade system in? Adam really wants so Adam is going
I'll
on the
take
road of
10
actually
ones.
getting a
I'll
trading
take-
system in, like trade them with other players
So if you have a wager you don't want, you can swap it in for something else.
with
A
you.
different wager.
Like
Yeah,
yeah,
or with
on
you.
your
Like, I
friend
don't wanna
list, like you
randomize
could
it.
like pretty much like Steam trade, like you would be able to
Oh.
actually trade it with you.
I don't know how. Oh, they would have to incorporate a whole new. That'd be a lot of freaking work. I mean, unless of course they had Steam Workshop in there and they could. It'd be kind of cool if they could do that, but I don't think they will. They won't even let you share anything else, really. So why would they let you do that?
Hey, wouldn't this is going off topic maybe a little bit, but wouldn't that be a thing for War Thunder in the future to think about? Gaijin, you're watching.
You can't
right?
even- you can't even give
Gaijin,
people gold eagles yet.
I'm assuming Mr. President
Now
Gaijin
that-
is watching right now.
Yeah,
so
you
here's an
can't even
idea. Here's an idea. Wouldn't it be interesting if they actually? I don't know how they would do it, but just like you said before, that in Counter-Strike, where there's value to it because people can actually trade them with one another, right? How about they did that with pretty much anything that is cosmetic and stuff like that in this game? The wagers, the decals, like all those things that you could actually like somehow trade between players.
Well, that means you'd actually that works on good games that are based around the Steam system with workshops like that because everything's community driven. So literally, the developers are there just to basically moderate the whole system.
Do you
make sure
think
no
that
one
would
puts up dicks.
improve the game?
I think it'd be a cool step in the right direction to actually get like more community content in there, but.
Well,
whether or
now
not
you're
that's
talking
gonna
about
happen,
now you're talking about
We-
if we can
you're
add
talking
our
about, yeah,
own
trading
content,
things.
but I'm just talking about trading what already exists in the game, like trading. Like if
There's
I
not
if
enough
I
to trade.
yeah, I know, but let's start somewhere.
That's what I'm getting at. Like
Yeah.
it potentially would work, but we just don't have the foundation for it yet. Kind of like going back off to the whole betting on those boxes. There's only like 3 or 4 things you can bet on. That's
Yeah.
not a whole lot. I mean, and then some people already almost own all of those things. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that's a waste of time. Why even do that? Counter-Strike works great because it's completely community driven. They decide
What do you get out of
what
those
is
crates
worth
then?
what.
Because I haven't played that. I haven't played CS:GO more than 2 hours.
Skins, knives. I mean,
Yeah, but
it's just
is the skins and knife like have they been made by the community? Is it like community created content?
yeah, it is driven by the community, and they decide what is worth how much. That's
yeah,
the biggest
because
thing, too.
obviously
you can trade them.
because it's decided by community because demand.
Exactly.
Demand.
It's
and-
it's an own built-in economy. This is a closed economy. This is controlled completely and solely by Gaijin. We have no say. We're literally just throwing money at the screen, and
Yeah,
hopefully we get a JPEG back or something. Like, oh, finally I got like a one of like I don't even know what the chances are to
this
get
is a
the damn-
casino without a cash out.
Exactly, a casino without a cash. You're throwing money at it, and hopefully you get something back that you kind of want. And at least those ones are permanent. And that's a small little like, okay, good job, Gaijin. At least you get to keep permanently whatever you got back. compared to like the daily battle pack of where you better use this within the time frame before it's gone. So yeah, so like when it comes to wagers, I mean, okay, back on topic with the whole wagers. Like, okay, what's left? Wingman, best squad, we covered that shit. What else we got here?
Because we are, if we feel
Mission Maker and Hero of the Sky. Oh no, we don't. We did Mission Maker, Hero of the Sky, and Thunder Wager.
What is Thunder Wager? Light me up on that one.
That's with tanks. You use tanks to kill each other. So it's instead of planes, it's tanks.
Oh, tank.
And how many do you have to do in that one? Is it?
It's just have the most.
It's have the most. Okay, that
it doesn't matter. It can be 5, 2, 1.
Yeah, I think that's
does
better.
Does that count bots?
No.
No. Okay, it has to be player. Okay.
Yep.
But that makes sense. I mean, it's hard when they tell you to do 10, and I was like, oh, like in the instant I had the destroy 10 units, like kill 10 players, I just went straight to airplanes. Like, you know, like there's no like I've actually managed to get 10 kills in arcade tanks, but those are far between. Like, I can get up to like.
But then you only get 3 tanks, so you don't get all 5 of your lineup.
You even have more.
That means the enemy isn't getting all their lineup either, so they run out of aircraft just as fast as you do.
Well, that's depending on the tank too. You might be gambling on a heavy tank, you only get 1, depending on what game mode we're talking about here too, right?
Yeah,
right. I mean, in arcade you get 3 total, right? That's it.
That is true.
It doesn't matter.
In realistic, you have to earn those points, and
in realistic,
and then
like
mediums.
Sim, you only get
2 versions.
like 2 mediums or 2 spas or 2 whatever. Or 1 heavy.
Yeah.
So you take a gamble there of where do I want like a big heavy slugfest system like like an SU-122, a fridge launcher, and hopefully do good, or do I take something that's like I get 2 like a Tiger or whatever? No, does a Tiger get 2?
No, Tiger will get 1 that's heavy.
Okay, so like a jumbo Sherman, and then just hopefully you can get close enough and pen something, and hopefully get more kills. I mean, yeah, then there's like a deciding factor in that sense too. So that one's it's interesting. I don't mind it. But in Gaijin fashion, they're going to go over time. They're going to check numbers. They're not going to check community. They're going to check the numbers and see how things are going, and then find out which wagers are being completed or not. And hopefully they'll balance it for the best. But time will tell for sure.
Yeah, I kind of like. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer that there's gonna be changes coming to the system, but the question is gonna be at which direction and like how far will they take it?
Yeah.
In the next edit.
Wagers for RP.
That
not the convertible stuff.
Yep.
I explained that one.
I thought I would put not the convertible stuff in big capital letters because.
Is there any wager that is specifically for convertible?
I'm not aware. Well, no. As in there isn't any wagers that I know of for RP.
Oh.
So let's say you were driving. I don't know. So you were doing planes, yeah, and you completed it, it would give you the RP to your plane or tank that you are currently researching. So maybe 1,000 RP. So if you got, let's say it was best wingman, and you got 10 games as the best squad, you got the most assists in 10 games, you'd get 1,000 RP, or I don't know how to balance it, maybe 5,000 RP,
10,000.
straight into 10,000, straight into the vehicle.
It's gonna be 1,000 each tier.
Ooh.
Right. So whatever. Just go straight into the next vehicle you are researching. There isn't really a wager that does that, and I think that would be cool.
Yeah, where's the RP wagers?
A good vehicle grinder would be a nice one for sure. Not the convertible stuff, because that's literally just like a telemarketer. Congratulations, you've been put on our list to potentially spend money with us. Like that's all that is.
How much convertible RP do you have?
I don't know. It's a good chunk. I don't.
See, I have.
If it was up to me, I'd take like a piece of electrician tape, put it on my screen, just cover that little section right there, because it's just it's useless information. Useless.
I mean, I have.
This is how much you could potentially spend to get ahead of the curve. That's what that is. That's all that is.
I have as much as I need if I'm ever gonna use it. Like I don't know the number, but I just know that I have enough. Like I just know I have so much that if I wanted to finish up a nation right now and spend an infinite amount of money, then I could.
The converting rate from money to that RP is not pretty either. You're going to be spending
absolutely not.
For fun. I just put up there. I had a lot of gold eagles at the time. It was for I stockpiled a bunch for like giveaways or something. I can't remember what it was. And I just brought up a jet to see like how far it would take me, and it took me like halfway. And I had I had a ridiculous amount of money. It's not a good conversion rate. You're better off buying for your $1 a premium tier 4 and just doing it that way. At least you're playing the game and having fun, not looking at a boost bar and spending money on, I almost have it. You're better off just buying a premium.
So the conversion rate is 1 golden eagle for every 45 RP. I think. I think that's the.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm looking at it right now, and I'm doing one,
And
two.
and how many RP is there for certain vehicles, IoT?
Well, the
If you're
T54
using
19.
that, I'm hoping, yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be kind of pointless for tier 1, that's for sure.
yeah. For the
You get-
T54, the tier 5 vehicle, it's to max it out 7,945 eagles.
You guys want to know what I did when
Roughly
American
30
Tanks
bucks.
when American Tanks came out?
You threw a lot of money at it.
I converted for every vehicle in, well, yeah, in tier 1 and tier 2 to start playing at tier 3.
Nice.
And that
Sure.
wasn't that expensive actually, because those are really
See, that's where I
cheap.
just bought a premium. I just bought a premium tank instead and actually got to play the game at the same time while I'm
I don't know. Wait, I might have. I think
heck-
I started at end of tier 2. Well, I did. I just wanted to just skip that tier because tier 1. I tried a game. I think I was like, ah, no. Like I just want to get a little bit higher up to get to what I think is the fun tier.
Heck, you can even talisman the plane of your or tank of your choice that you really like, and then just get the extra gain off that too.
You know, I never even looked or touched talisman until I think it's less than a month ago that I did my first talisman on a vehicle.
It's pretty nice.
Yep,
I
and I-
talisman one of my Japanese tier 4s. I liked it so much because they just didn't give you a good fighter. They gave you the 0, which was, it's all right, but it's a bait plane. You're so slow and just turn all day long. And just hopefully they just turn with you and you get the kill. So I just did like one of the Kaidi 4s and it's been great. Finished Japan.
So, do you guys have anything to add to the wager for RP? Or
I-
the
Oh,
we've been
that
going
whole
for an hour
topic?
15,
Yeah,
by the way.
I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking that we're at a point where if we're done with this topic, which we kind of are, right? Then this is the time we would take a short break and then come back for a special thing and.
scared.
Pac's favorite thing, which I'm looking forward to. I have no idea what's coming up, and then the second topic, I guess, and the last topic that is gonna be bombers. Are they fine as is or need of change? The subtopics to this is quite a few. So you guys will have a lot to go through there. So we might need the next hour for that, maybe. Maybe.
Stay
We'll see.
tuned.
We haven't gotten there yet, but yes, stay tuned, guys. We will be right back. Like if you guys need to go get some refreshments, if you guys need to run to the toilet, maybe you need to walk the dog, you have a bud, I would say okay, we're giving it 5 minutes. It will probably be 2 entire plays of the soundtrack you heard before. So 5 minutes, and we'll be back with War Talk episode 1.
Oh, I'm muted.
Alright, we are back with the second part of the first episode of War Talk, here with Screen112, myself, PAX Founder 1, and AverageAdam, and we're gonna move into the next segment, which is Jingles Watch, which is apparently he's been spotted. We have some secret footage of Jingles, the mighty Jingles, and PAX, you have all the news about that. I will show them the footage right now. It's now on the stream.
Absolutely.
What are we looking at?
As you can see here, it's the Allies invading Normandy on D-Day, and you can see Jingles taking a selfie. A little bit hard with an 8mm fold-out camera, but he was able to pull it off. I'm guessing it was a bit of a rush to get there for sure, but I mean, obviously he wasn't able to grab his helmet, but at least he got his glasses and his calm demeanor into the fight. That's always important. I'm not too sure exactly where and what beach they are on right now. I mean, he is on the British front, no doubt. I mean, maybe he's with the Canadians. Maybe he's on Juno Beach. Who knows? But looking calm and demeanor as always. Go Jingles. Where will he be next?
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll get back to that next week. We'll see if we can find some more footage. If anybody has footage, send it to Jingles Watch at Metagamingtv for any more secret footage of Jingles. We always want to see where he is, what he's doing, what he's up to. We'll get back to that next week again.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. And moving on to bombers. Are they fine as is or need change? And I'm like, okay. I'm just looking at our notes here, which is. Like in air battles, in tank battles, gunner accuracy, plane durability, crew vitality in each mode, base rushers, air starts. Maybe PAX want to take this off. Maybe you wanna decide where to take the first cut of the cake.
First and foremost, bombers are a very important aspect of this game. They add a different dynamic, miniature game within the game itself, objectives. And it's a support role in a sense, if you look at it in that way when it comes to other type of games, where it is doing a mini game within the game. I mean, within arcade, you're going to have ground battle maps where bombers are really going to shine, heavy attackers, ground strikers, dive bombers, etc. As for implementations across the board, there's definitely tuning they can do. In arcade, they can come off relatively as a weak, plain, slow. Obviously, that's kind of the nature of the beast, of the bomber itself. At least you get, like in arcade stuff like that, you get the reload of the bombs and stuff like that. You do have defense guns. They could do okay. For you guys, like in arcade, you find when it comes to bombers, or when it comes relatively to like their health to, offensive abilities, how they usually sit with you guys. Because I've flown a bit of arcade with bombers just to grind them, and you can get chewed up pretty quickly. But at the same time, I mean, like I don't even use level flight bombing in arcade. I'll just dive down right into the shit with it. My wings aren't going to break, so I'm going to go right down to the ground. Fast as I can, get the thing going 500 kilometers an hour, and just use the crosshair, strafe the targets, wait for that 30-second reload, loop around again, and try to bomb some more, and try to get as many in before I die. Because eventually they're gonna just, like, oh, he's right over here, and just go chase him down and gun you down. Like, what do you guys usually do with them in arcade in a sense?
I stay high. Actually, for like you kind of in most maps, if not in all maps, you spawn higher with a bomber a little bit. So I just try and stay like, cause then it's whether or not the enemy will have to like okay, I see the bomber up there. Do I really wanna fucking climb up there and not get all these other kills that is on my altitude, and get the bomber? And some people dedicate themselves to go bomber hunting, and it doesn't work. I mean, there's you don't get that much of an advantage in height, really. Actually,
like what are you gaining? What are you gaining for like experience in lines when it comes to bombing ground targets? Do you find it sufficient enough to even justify the bombers?
I don't go bomber.
Or do you really have to enjoy them?
Like I don't decide that I'm gonna do a bomber game. I actually have my crews is set up so on each country I kind of have one bomber crew that I bring one bomber with. So I'll be the guy who goes in and have maybe like, let's say 4 or 5 fighter planes and that one bomber plane that I'll bring to do my part, maybe if it's that type of game, because you don't really know. If you're getting domination game, then sure they have ground targets you can bomb, but it's so I bring one bomber every game, kind of. Actually, that's what I do. I don't know if Adam does it differently.
No, I mean, it depends on what tier we're talking about, or even whether or not they're even worth going after. I mean, the pack said, yeah, sometimes if he's grinding out playing arcade bombers, he might dive, but a lot of people might just go, "Pfft, I don't even care about bombers. I'm just going to go kill fighters and just completely ignore them because they're not worth anybody's time or effort to climb all the way up there and do anything. I mean, that's maybe a minority, but a lot of people do that. I am sometimes that person who will just ignore bombers, but I'm the only other time I take a bomber in my lineup is the B-25, and I don't even use that as a bomber. I use it as a fighter
Yeah,
because
he
it's
does.
again, it's arcade.
Does it
you
take a
don't
lot of
lose
damage?
points. It tanks an incredible amount of damage.
Oh, yeah?
It flies no matter what. It can be burned. It can be shot at. It can be hit with 37s. Doesn't care. It'll just keep going. And then it's literally a gunship. If somebody's on your tail, who needs to turn around? You've now got tail gunners, and people will literally just follow you in arcade. The same reason why the E20G is just so damn good. People will just follow bombers, and they
that
don't care.
payload.
Oh, and I just drop it. It weighs me down. I need the turn time. Weighs me down. £1,000. I'll drop them anywhere. I accidentally bombed the base one time.
Yeah, why
It was a
not?
bad time.
We'll be there
Thanks,
back in
Accidentally
10
bombed a
seconds
base.
Lots of lions were wasted on team killing allied vehicles, but it was worth it. but I mean, yeah, a lot of people will just, in some occasions, just completely ignore bombers and will just go killing other players. I am one of those people. Sometimes it's just not worth it. I mean, if I'm in a jet or a high tier game where I have that sort of fast speed, that quick climb, semi decent guns, I will go for it. I will go for bombers, not a problem. But if I'm in a tier 2 or tier 3 American prop plane, it might take me 2-3 minutes to get all the way up there. By that time, they might have even decided to dive themselves. They see me coming close, they dive. I've just wasted half a game doing nothing. And I'm not doing that with my wager. If I'm going to win or lose, and I have my wager going, I'm just going to do what I want. And that is killing as many people as possible.
Kind of like roughly touching back up on wagers a little bit to incorporate with the bombers. You think it'd be a good idea to have like an actual bomber wager that's not nation specific?
What is in
just basically
bomb
destroy
so many
a certain amount of-
targets?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're talking about that air domination thing again, where you don't get the. But if they were able to eliminate that, you think that'd be a good way to kind of like incentivize more bombers to be in the game? Incentivize.
Do I want more bombers in the game? It's probably a better question because as we get late tier, and I'm sure you'll discuss, B-29s can be a rather pain in the backside when it comes to payloads.
Become a pain. The payloads become a pain, obviously.
But again,
with the progression of tiering going up, and bigger payloads, bigger guns, bigger planes, faster planes, should the maps, like when it comes to ground sections, the bases, the airfield, should their health go up accordingly? But not all nations have a heavy payload like the B-29 does. You got other nations like Russia that have like a pretty pathetic payload.
But they shouldn't be able to.
I mean, there's the Urs, but they do okay. But
the Ur in arcade is pretty dominating because of its crazy dive speed. And if you've got an entire lineup, you can quite easily take out a base because it has 2,000-3,000 payload. It's quite a high payload.
Dive, 20mm tail gun. It's an all-around pretty nasty thing.
And it's 30-second reload, as you said. You can just dive, bomb, dive, bomb, dive, bomb. And a lot of people won't even try and chase you because you're so fast, or you've got tail gunners. They'll just go, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. I'm just going to do my own thing.
Kind of like the A20 Havoc back in the day before they got tiered up.
Yeah, exactly the same. And that's why I said jets. I mean, you don't want to obviously follow a jet in a versus a bomber. You're just going to get torn up and set on fire. But if you're in an ME-163, something that is, damn fast at climbing, and you can get underneath a bomber, just strafe it, dead. Problem solved. That I have no problem in doing. I will quite happily do that for my team because bombers are easy kills at that point, and it's 3 points. So I'll go for the wherever water will flow easiest. So I'll go for the easy thing. But I'm not going to waste half my game chasing somebody around a map for very little reward. If he's going to do his thing, he's going to do his thing. The best thing is for me to hope that my bombers are better than his bombers. And I mean, if I'm killing fighters, in theory, I should be assisting them, right? I mean, if there's no fighters, there's nobody to shoot them down. Theory, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, it's if it's easy, I'm just going to do it. Arcade scrub. Sorry.
Scream?
Yes.
Anything to say?
I mean, I'm pretty much on this one. I'm in the same boat as Adam. like, I mean, I see bombers when I'm flying fighters. I see them as a big target. I'm like, well, these are easy to hit, and kind of take pride in shooting them down, actually. So I mean, so I guess I do, like, if I see a bomber and it's not like, you know, several kilometers climb to get there, I will go for them. I can even turn around just to go for them. Because it feels good. It's more like I get a good feeling out of shooting down a bomber that is trying to bomb our base. Actually, so I guess that is what I do. Other than that, I just, you know, I'm not, like, I think Adam has played a lot more bombers than I do, though, because I do bring the bombers, but it's, you know, it's kind of like I never start in it, and I spawn in it towards the later part of the game if I run out of fighters, which doesn't happen that often. So it's more like, okay, it could be like, oh, I can finish the game by spawning a bomber and killing that last base that my team has not managed to bomb out. Then I'll do that to win the game. That's how I use my bombers. It's like a little accessory that I have in my tool bag that I will bring out and use when needed to. But I like the bombers. And like Adam said, though, I do like the B-25 PBJs. Those do go into another slot for me. I do not even bring them in a bomber slot, like a bomber crew. I mean, they are fighter planes.
I mean,
in arcade, they work very well as that.
And it's pretty ridiculous.
See, I'm gonna get really analytical on this one about arcade and say you don't want to take the PBJ because you don't get that air spawn. What makes the B-25 so strong? And this is the first one where it gets 3.7 matchmaking, so it doesn't get all those high tier really powerful.
A heavy attacker, yeah.
It gets put all the way down there. It doesn't get that high altitude. It literally, the B-25 is actually a pretty good anti-bomber plane. So I mean, that's why I choose the B-25 over and a heavy fighter. It's just an all-round amazing plane. So that's why I would use it. So that's where, you know, if we're going to get quite serious about, you know, good planes, bad planes, like balancing and things, the B-25 needs something done to it, because it's like, I know they nerfed the turning speed of it a few patches ago, because it was out turning quite considerably a lot of planes, and it was kind of ridiculous. So I just don't know how like, because you can't have them starting at the same level as fighters. That's just ridiculous. I mean, could you make pellets and things have less vitality and accuracy?
The vitality structure in those things is a little bit weird and questionable. I mean, in recent, like, it seems like the crews are a little bit more harder to knock out these days. And especially when you're talking about a plane that's got how many, like 7 people in it. You got left gun, right gun, top gun, bottom gun, tail gun, nose gun. I mean, it's a diminishing system, like in arcade we're talking about here.
Yeah.
It's a big, heavy thing in the sky that takes a bit to knock down for like balance reasons, and it bombs bases, support role. So wouldn't it be kind of nice to have, like, in a sense of where you can whittle at it, and part of the whittling process is actually taking out gunners quite effectively and efficiently. Now, according to the crew stats, like, it's when you up your vitality, it takes a percentage down of the chance of, like, getting a crit. It's like, what is it, like 2 shots from an MG and 1 shot from a cannon? But it seemed when you're, like, doing it, it feels like you have a better chance of chopping the plane in two than unconsciousing the gunner, in a sense.
Absolutely.
Like, if you look at just recently when this World of Warships came out, and they have, like, this micro system within the tank. It's a lot like, you know, the kill cam in tanks we have here, of where it kind of shows you what's going on within the tank. Wouldn't it be kind of nice, like, I know if they had that a little bit in, like, arcade when it came to, like, your bomber gear, because you can already go to the explosive views and you can see what's going on. So if you got shot in the tail and your tail gunner went out, wouldn't it be nice to know that your tail gunner was knocked out?
I am
honestly, you know,
surprised.
Which guns are out, and then so that makes you decide how you turn in the engagement. So if you only have your belly gun, you're probably going to want to, like, try to turn and keep him on the inside of your turn, so your belly gunner can shoot compared to him being above you, or if he was above you, like, just fly upside down to have your tail gunner take the advantage, right?
I'm honestly surprised that they don't have the X-ray view for most planes. Like, it would be so awesome to see, you know, what is the state of my plane. How does it look? Like, as you said, are people knocked out? Where are they knocked out? Like, how damaged is the first? Like, you have that little picture on the left same as with tanks. But I really want to know in detail, like, what is really
Like there's a
damaged.
hotkey in tanks where you can like in game you don't have to see the little camera. You can
Yeah,
just click the button and
yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
tank becomes three like you see
Yep.
an X-ray vision of everything inside of it. Having that in planes, that'd be kind of nice.
It would be great. I mean, it might be a little bit difficult in sim,
No, you
fighters.
wouldn't want it, and you probably wouldn't want it in fighters, just because well, the nature of it. You could do the kill cam thing, but you couldn't do the X-ray thing because of the nature of where they want that
Right,
immersion
exactly.
factor. They
But I
want
mean,
you in the vehicle, whatever it
I
may be.
know, but I mean, if you were to press it, you could, look around, I guess. I mean, you might not be
They
able to
already
get a
have the kill
perfect
game.
view.
They have the kill cam in there so that you can see what you penned, and that's on regular tank. I can't remember if Absolute has it or not. Pretty sure it does. When it comes to just seeing an extra explosion of what you smacked, but as for planes, it might be a little due to the nature of like you're paying attention because welcome to the Z axis. You're up in the air.
Mm,
It might be a little bit distracting. I don't
mm.
know.
I mean,
I
it would
mean,
be
for other
nice.
modes, it makes sense. I mean, when you're committing to that sim mode, you're it'd be better if it was actual audio and visual indications like we already have via smoke. You get an oil leak or a fuel leak. A fire's a dead giveaway. Oil's on your screen of your windshield.
Mm.
Looking at
But
your
then
wing,
how
you
do
can
you know
see
one of
bullet
your flaps
holes.
is dead?
Question.
They have that little mini icon already in there, the damage icon. I think you have it in arcade too, where it shows the breakup of your plane, and then it goes from like white to red to pink, red, black. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I just think it would be cool to kind of get like a sort of visual. I mean, I know it'll be distracting, and I mean,
It'd be nice if
I
they actually added like sound engineering, so that way you could hear like that something was busted, like you could hear the motors fighting against something that was damaged, and you kind of put things together where if your flaps
where it's
got
coming
knocked
from.
off and you hit the flap button, you just hear this, and this like some weird noise.
Yeah, it's
Oh
just like
shit!
like
It's
that.
not doing anything, or like the gears jammed and you hear like the clunking of the gears not coming down. Things like that might be a neat way to do the immersion side of the
Mm,
game, like in arcade and RB. I mean, information is key. So you got your HUD elements, your icons, indications, like that fits that game mode very well. In
mm,
SB, you got where you kind of like you want to have that immersion factor. So you want as little outside information as possible and more internal information, gauges, ammo. I mean, like the ammo counters like that. Certain planes have ammo count, like the Focke-Wulfs have like the ammo bar counter, while the planes don't have no ammo counter. Like for example, like something I wish they would add, which would be I think would be simple, is P-51 Mustangs, of where the way they work with tracer rounds is like every 10th shot I think it was, but when it was getting near the end of the belt, every round was a tracer shot, and that's how the pilot knew that they were running out of ammo. Something
mm.
like that is a neat little way to put in information without breaking immersion. Right now, when it
Mm.
comes to like let's get back on. I guess I'm back on the topic of bombers and immersion while we're at it here. And let's talk about like in arcade. So they have there's a little tweaks that they could definitely use. I mean, they're competent and they take a lot of damage. Is good. In RB and SB, it's in RB it's not so bad because everyone's still got third person. The flight models are more honed in and more. You can feel the gap in RB with flight models compared to arcade. And then in SB, you have a whole section of planes, fighters, some heavy fighters, junkers, B-7s, dive bombers, have cockpits. You're in the cockpit. You rely on information, whether it be the top right of the screen in the main queue, which eventually is going to go away, by the way. They're going to make main queue absolute sim style, so that you're going to have no indications at the top left corner. You're going to have to actually rely on the gauges in the plane. And then you have this whole line of other vehicles in the game. Bombers and some of the heavy fighters. You have no cockpits. So what does Gaijin do? They give you Superman mode. So you have an unlimited view around your plane where none of the fighters have this luxury. So you have basically, you can see full 360, everything around you, nothing intruding. Then on top of that, you have these gunners. And it's fine. I love the idea of you being able to control the gunners. The implementation, though, it's not fully there yet. Right now, still Superman mode. You can see everything you want possibly. You control all the guns by just whichever direction you look in, it'll automatically take over that gun, just like in any other mode, right? Too. But the gunners don't have ammo. When you're flying the bomber, You have your payload bomb amount. If you have a primary gun, for example, like the B-24s or whatever, they're the front guns, you have a certain amount of machine gun ammo. But these gunners in the back, for some reason, they got the magical crate that unlocks infinite ammo. So when you're in gunner view, you can pull that trigger all day long. It'll reload, and then once it's reloaded, it can keep pulling it all on, and it never runs out of ammo. No other plane in the game gets this luxury. And when you upgrade your when you upgrade your crew, so that you condense your spread, less chance of seizures, these become very, very accurate tools of destruction. Especially when you get like the certain bombers that are beyond the 7.62s and the 303 British rounds like the Wellingtons have. When you get into like the 50s of the Americans, and then you look and talk like IL-28s with the 23 millimeter tail gun, the years with the 20 millimeter tail guns, even the Junkers tail guns actually can be pretty devastating. Same with the LA7s. And you all of a sudden you have this guy in a game mode where everyone else is limited to ammo, cockpit, and looking around and engaging, to these guys in like gigantic, harder to kill, 360 view, infinite ammo flying vessels of bombing. They have an important role in the game mode, but the implementation has slipped. They need to incorporate limits. I would, just as a starter, I would love if they just gave gunners ammunition so they actually could run out. If it was an AI mode, I mean, even like a couple reloads, sure, you can hold a lot of ammo in there. Why not? But just, they need more. They need more. And yes, it's also up to the pilot. Like if you're a fighter pilot, it's up to you to engage these things properly too. It's not exactly all the bomber's fault. If you're the guy who rides the tail of a bomber, well, guess what? You're kind of where 90% of his guns are meant to be, getting something off of its six. It's up to you to be a smart attacker and attack it from certain angles. But even then, I mean, some of the guys that come in there now into the SP mode, and then they'll use the bombers, is that they'll paint up their bombers and all these pretty bright look at me and try to find me colors. They'll turn on their smoke and they'll just literally put their mouse on the artificial joystick into cruise control, find a spot where it zeroes and goes straight, fly straight, go to gunner view, and just wait for people to come to them and attack them. And so far the game allows you to do this and try to reap the benefits of that extra RP gain that you get from sim mode. And it gets a little frustrating on the end of fighters because they get all these privileges that other planes do not. But it's not the game's fault. It's technically the game's fault for not having the items in. I mean, but it's something that the player base can easily utilize and abuse a system in there because it's not fully done yet. Now, they're talking about 1.49 here coming up. There's going to be bomber cockpits in it. There's going to be some coming in. So the progression toward the right thing is happening. But they haven't said a thing about gunner view. The thing about it is that, yeah, sure, you're going to bring a bomber cockpit in, find a Danny, good, be my guest, that's awesome. But you can still just flick a switch of a keybind, and you're in gunner view, third person, looking around all over again. So what did that add? What does that change?
Wasn't there talk of not being allowed to switch between, like you're the pilot. You are the pilot. That means you cannot become the gunner all of a sudden. So that way you couldn't get the 3D view. Then you couldn't sort of control the gun, because I know some people are crazy good with those guns anyways. So if they didn't have
those AI guys are pretty accurate. When you have a fully upgraded,
they are pretty good too.
Plus you put in the lines.
Haven't they overall over time? Like they used to be insane. Because I remember the AI gunners, like, because I have them maxed out on my crews and on my planes, and now I really somewhat bother because I can feel the difference. I remember being like, even in arcade and realistic, especially realistic, I remember being so like, yes, please come for me, please come for me. Like they were so good. That's why I've never learned to actually aim them myself. I suck so bad with them because I've been like, the AI gunners maxed out, guys, come get it, boys. Like they were firing lasers or something. Like they were so they just hit, and they've nerfed those a lot though.
The damage models have been updated of where they're not like before 1.47 and the patch before that, bombers were, it was like taking down an arcade bomber. It took a lot of ammo, and you don't have a lot compared to that guy. That guy can shoot all day long, and he'll shoot at you from beyond the distance of the bullets drawn. they'll if they see you coming, like you're way up high and you're looking down, I'm getting ready to pass. You can see these tracers coming up at you in this consistent stream, but it's just out of range. And you're just like, if they had ammo in there, he wouldn't do that. It would be like self-control to stop that. But yeah, no, the damage models have got better. The fact the Wellingtons are actually going to be getting a boost too, because right now they are basically flying wicker baskets.
They're not very good.
They can die pretty
like
quickly.
if some bombers are good, they are on the other end of that spectrum.
What Adam said about like not controlling the gunners would actually make justification toward why you have crew points for these guys. I mean, so that way they have a purpose. Now they are a bit accurate when they're fully upgraded. I mean, right? I guess technically, kind of rightfully so. But when, like, for example, it's in rotation with Sim, where it's Ally or U.S. versus Japan, where you basically have these self-sealing tank, gigantic bombers that you can light on a fire, and then the tank seals up and the fire's out, and they're still gliding along. Compared to these Zeros, where just they're on fire and they're going down. When you get struck by a 50 caliber machine gun, it can be frustrating, especially when the plane that you're in can't even barely keep up with the damn bomber. And then to add on top of this, they add, like we were talking about this earlier again with the stream, like the B-29s when they incorporated these things, the big guns, the compensators. The payload, when they were in sim battles, just before they changed the BRs a little bit to not much better, mind you, for sim anyways. Maybe arcade makes sense, but not for sim. Mm-hmm. But they added in a 20-minute join-in progress to the matches. So, and you can join the same game multiple times if you got shot down.
Oh,
so,
really?
Let's say due to already being part of this.
Same game.
Yes, same game. Yeah, you're learning something today.
I'm learning.
So, yes.
I'm listening.
So, high tier 4, Germany versus US. We're playing Korea map, Berlin, stuff like that. Off the start, bombers get the air spawn, rightfully so, because we couldn't reenact an actual bomber raid because we're talking hours to get to level and then actually bomb and then go home. Right? Long trip, long day. Bring coffee. So they already start in the air. If you're in a fighter, you start on the runway, unless of course you're like a 162, which is because it's a ski rail, whatever. So B-29 is already coming toward your base with a payload that can decimate it in basically one run. You're coming up with your Horton 229 or your Narwhal U4 Unicorn Power 262 Schwalbe or your 163 Jet or even like a high Focke-Wulf or something to try to catch up. By the time you guys meet up in the middle, he's already really near the base and you have to slam in, take this guy out of the ground. Take this guy out of the sky, take him to the ground. In that time frame, because it's probably before the 20-minute mark's up, he can die, go back to hangar, press join in game. He's in your exact same game.
Because there's not many sim games to get into.
This is like a step for guys in trying to get into this like long mission system that they're going to incorporate eventually, but it's not in yet. So this is what they've done so far. They just let you join in for a long session of regular session. So the same guy spawns in again. So you go find him again, and you shoot him down again, and then again. And then he comes in again, and you shoot him down again, and you're out of ammo. So you're going back to base, you're landing to rearm, and by the time you go to land and rearm, that guy, again, is bombing the base that you're rearming on. It's a war of attrition. You don't win. So it was a weird place. Now, they just changed the BRs recently here. The B-29 went down, and the Horton went back up because the Horton's flight model, it's a gigantic flying wing, right? So it's got like this ridiculous turn time and stuff like that. They brought it back up because it was kind of like, it was doing a little too good. But bombers, in a nutshell, for at least sim, they are important to the game mode. They have a purpose. They are meant to be there, and the game would be not much fun without them. They're very important. But the implementation so far, at least in my opinion, for the game mode that I love dearly, they need work. Now, back before 1.37, there was this big group, maybe some guys from Twitch and stuff like that know, I've heard of the Sky Police. And that was like the sim community rallying up together and started team. I wish this should never happen ever. It shouldn't, but it did because it's just nothing was happening. Where they're out together and they started team killing, like ramming teammate bombers, taking them down.
To get them not to play.
To get them to stop playing because back then when they had the heavy damage models and they took a lot to take down. They would just fly really high, hard to get to, and they would just gunship you and snipe you down. And it ruined the dynamic of the fight because they weren't being used as their purpose role, which is evidently why that was becoming an issue. So they would be rammed, shot down. Teammates were calling out their positions to the other team to help them out. People were changing their name to officer underscore whatever their name would be. There was skins made. It got Jingles made a freaking special about it. It was getting out of hand. It was getting out of hand. And no game. I mean, on one hand, it was really cool to see a community from a game band together like that to make a difference. That was interesting.
Crazy.
That part was like, holy shit! People, they love this game. They're willing to like get together and do it. It's a tight little community. But the second hand, that method is definitely not the right method to make. You don't put out a fire with gasoline. You don't. It definitely made the fire big enough that Gaijin could see it from Russia and be like, "Hey, that's a big fucking fire. Maybe we should put that out." So they did. They did fix the damage model, but there's still a long way to go before at least that aspect of the community is going to be happy. I mean, that's probably why you're probably not going to be seeing bombers in ASB anytime soon, until they get more implementation into it, because they would be just gigantic. Because everyone's flying in ASB, due to the nature of it, everyone is flying down low. In main queue ASB, everyone's climbing up high. At least a lot of them are. Like you're going to find like a lot of German guys are going to go up to like 5,000, 4,000 meters. The fight will happen roughly around 3,000 or lower. But there's the people who know they need the energy advantage will climb high. In ASB, this new mixed mode, the fight's all in this little pot in the middle of a map of where the tanks are happening. So planes, evidently, like the Yak-9, are going to be doing really good near deck because that's where they're designed to be. They're a mid-range, mid-height fighter, and these planes like 109s and Focke-Wulfs which are meant to be like planes of cunning and high-altitude energy fighters, are going to have a tougher time because they're going against these planes. So you put now just throw a B-17 in there, down real low on deck, going over top of the field. So it's probably cannon fodder to the AAA. So hopefully the AAA would love to see a gigantic target that's really freaking hard to miss. But then you imagine putting a B-29 in the middle of an ASB map, doing a carpet run across like a flag point. Hard to miss.
Everything is going to die in that circle.
It's a flying destroyer. So they need, it's got. I think it personally, if they got cockpits in, they put an ammo limit on the gunners. I wouldn't mind if they actually couldn't control the gunners. I wouldn't mind that at all. That'd be kind of an interesting way. But I mean, it would also give you less to do. Otherwise, because then it would become this game. You need interesting points with the bombers. You need something interesting to do. Otherwise, you're just sitting there flying in a straight line, and then once you get to a point, you click a button once, bombs there. Okay, go back to base.
But I mean, that's kind of your role, though. Like that is
a meta game within it. Like, what if the bombing was actually a bit more? Like, I understand for the way the bombing works in arcade. In RB, like in arcade, you have the crosshairs, right? So you just line up the crosshair, press the bomb. In RB, you can go to the bomb site or whatever like that, and then just line up the target with that bomb site. It even gives you a little bit of like this weird like a G ball. That if you're turning too hard, it'll show you kind of where the bombs can be thrown. If they just added a bit more depth to that system of the actual bomb scope, and made a mini game of it, so while you're flying level. Because why not? You got two pilots, make someone take over. But while you're flying level, you're just adjusting little things like wind, trajectory. I mean, it was depending on what type of bombs you got loaded. If they're pointing directly down, if you're going too fast, it's going to catch wind on the broadside of the bomb and it won't go to target. If their bombs are laying flat and you're going fast, they're going to catch that wind and kind of go on target properly with the trajectory. Things like that. I mean, add a little bit more depth. Like, I mean, now I'm talking like games like hardcore sim games like IL-2 and DCS and stuff like that, and especially in IL-2 where you actually have to like dial in these informations like bomber scope guys would do. But I don't know, maybe I don't think War Gaijin would ever do that, but it definitely they could use I personally think they could use a lot more depth.
The last 15 minutes has been brought to you by PAX Founder 1.
Sorry.
Hey, the dude is passionate about bombers.
So I don't mind. This was a good listen.
I love bombers. I love them. I want to be in a bomber more often. I want to fly bombers. I do. I just don't feel clean in them. In the state that they're in, I think they need more. I don't feel right being in it. That's why I go to arcade and fly bombers. Because I know in arcade, I can make a difference to the match. I could do good. I could take a lot of damage. And I know that when I get down near deck, I'm I'm prey. I'm prey. They're going to see a big juicy target, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But yeah, for the mode that I play a lot, I just think they need more. I think they need more.
I mean, we obviously don't. I mean, unfortunately, I'm for myself. I don't play sim, right? So that's why it was so interesting to hear that rant about all those things, because I obviously had no idea about that. So that's actually really interesting, informative, and it will obviously help me when I have people coming by who's like, bombers and sim, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, they should be there, and I don't want them to become these complex, stupid, surreal, like in the depths realism things. It'd just be nice if they had just more to them. I mean, it's all about the end of the day. It's all about just core gameplay and fun. We're not talking about making it uber realistic. I mean, I don't know if War Thunder is the game to be doing that. There's plenty of other titles that do, like ultra realism, historical accuracy. I don't know if War Thunder is the best fit for it, but right now there's definitely room with them to be abusive.
About cockpits, why? Like, I mean, this is a question that. Well, I don't know if anyone here can answer that.
It comes with the game mode.
But why do we not have cockpits in the bombers? That's
They're
a
complex.
question I would like.
They're complex. They take a long time. The cockpits in general take a long time to make for any game because of all the dial gauges and just trying to get it accurate as possible. And those big bad boys, we're talking like there's a lot of detail, and they have to do it also in a way that's not taxing as well. So you're talking about those high poly, lots of gauges, lots of switches and dials, guys beside you. You can look down the back and you can see this whole hollowed out plane. There's things like that you have to factor in.
Can you just put a door?
Yeah, you can put a door.
Like,
that kind of does break immersion.
I
The
guess.
plane didn't have a door.
It's like, well, we have to do something, right? Like,
What are we in, a 747?
can we just like find a way to make the cockpits work where you don't have to look back? But I don't honestly. I wonder if it's really looking back into the plane that is the problem.
Well, actually, as we said earlier about information, you didn't want X-ray view, but if you looked behind you and you saw your gunner slumped over the gun, you could presume he's been knocked out. That would be a way of saying your gunner has been knocked out.
That'd be kind of a cool way to not break immersion. But I know they can't have him show him like dead or nothing like that. That's why you're never going to see killed or
infantry.
it's always incapacitated, unconscious, thrashed.
But he could still be lying on the floor. Like that doesn't mean he's dead.
Yeah, like he's sleeping on the gun, just sleeping.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it's why there's like I haven't seen it, but I mean, it's why we don't have blood, right? Like we don't see blood when you hit those
But I mean,
people.
you do get in those open top tanks like the Marder, when people get knocked out, they slump over the gun until they swap. Like they swap position, so then they go sit inside if there's somebody who can take over. If there's nobody to sit over, then they'll just stay slumped. So I mean, I think they do have that in game. So I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility for them to just add some dude slumped over a gun to say your dude has been knocked out. Be aware of it. And not have any kind of breaking of immersion, like hitting O and you can see an X-ray view of your plane.
Yeah, that's actually not. I kind of like that.
There was a guy earlier who said in Twitch. I'm not even sure if we're even near that topic. It was way early in the long talk. Wouldn't it be nice that if you have multiple gunners, your crew will cover each other's spots but less effectively? I.e., a ventral turret gunner can man a rear turret gunner after a period of time, but will shoot less accurately than the rear turret gunner. Pretty much, he wants like okay, the plane is in the back. That guy has been shot. I'll run over there and man the guns.
Well, that should be like
a degradation.
Like
system,
I mean,
like,
because we have that in tanks, right? Like if the crew will move around, right? If one person gets shot out, then someone else will man the loader.
It would be nice to know if I put a crap load of bullet holes in a plane and the wind's flying through there at Mach 9, throwing shit around the inside, that the gunners are not exactly very focused anymore. I wouldn't mind knowing that. where I mean the idea of like basically a system of where you're losing crewmen, but they're still gonna utilize every angle of the plane. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm not too sure.
There could be a time between them.
If
Like they could
I'm pretty sure
simulate it with
I'm pretty sure those guys inside that plane are strapped in. I
Oh,
think.
okay. So they because the question that I had then to that is because I obviously I wonder, does anybody know how did they do in real life?
I think it's dependent on what nation and what plane. I mean, like the guy in the tail gunner seat of like the bubble turret. Here's a good example. Like
yeah.
you're in there, and
I've
like
seen those.
what plane was it? Like I guess it was a B-17 or something. They had to do a belly landing, and they knew they were going to kill that guy when they
Really?
did it. Yeah,
Oh,
it
God.
was.
Oh, yeah, because they did a belly landing. You said belly landing.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, sorry, Jim.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it's I guess it'd be dependent on but for a game from a game aspect, let's not go deep down the.
Well, I mean,
this history
yeah.
lesson was brought to you by Twitch
Pecs.
streams. No, but when it comes to like
For some planes you can
game
switch.
system, like a degradation system of ability of not just the plane but the crew for a bomber, that's kind of cool. I kind of that idea is kind of kick ass.
Yeah.
Of where you're not just weakening the plane, but you're weakening the overall integrity, morale of the crew within it. They become less effective. That's actually kind of a neat idea. I mean, I don't know if it would actually work in practice. I mean, it would take a bit of a trial and error to see if just knocking out a top gunner does that justify that it can still be used or it still works, or the idea of where if you take out the top gunner, you want to attack from the top because evidently there's going to be no cover there, or if you're shooting the main body of the plane and you don't cut it in half, but you just do a lot of damage to the main hull of the plane, will that make overall the accuracy / consistency of the gunners less? Because it is a pretty big distraction to know that you're in a gigantic flying plane with a bunch of cheese holes in it and winds flowing through there, and you just got shot at, literally, is what it is. Like, basically, would that be beneficial? Would that add? Right? It's a neat premise. I never even thought about that idea before, ever. Of an idea of where you're actually, like, weakening, in a sense, kind of like the knockout system in tanks, which is kind of funny. I mean, these are pretty tough dudes. They took like a 75mm shell to the face. I guess he's unconscious for 10 seconds. He's fine.
No, he's not. No. He is unconscious, but the 10 seconds is to somebody to, I guess, move his body and swap positions with him. Maybe they've laid him down on the shell racking or something. But it's literally swapping out. That's the time. Yeah, it's not him coming back.
So that is actually, I mean, yeah, to mirror that to bombers, that'd be kind of cool. I mean,
morale.
Because you go being accurately, not all tanks could do that. Because some tanks you're actually like completely separated from other people. You're not going to be walking over there. So that'd be kind of a neat idea. I think that'd be a nice step in the right direction toward trying to fix the equation.
Or a value like morale. How do you say that, morale? Like that could be a whole different thing that you level up in the crew. In the hangar, right? And the higher you have that, the less likely they are to kind of abandon work. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's in the sense of like vitality and not vitality, sorry, stamina and G-force tolerance, in a sense of where it would sit in this like fatigue area. But cool thought for sure. Never even thought about something like that before.
And something I remember this since my first day in War Thunder, that people been, I don't know, like, I don't want to say people been asking for it, but I mean, there's always been someone who's been like, I wish that we would have multiplayer bomber crew, that you would fly it, I would man one of the guns, Adam would man the other gun.
It'd be cool.
But I do think that way back that, like, I want to think that a community manager or something at least said that, it's one of the things where it's like, that will just, throw so many more players into a game that it's just about performance, I think. I mean, and it's also like, is it something they will do? Like, and how would they do it? Like, how would you join up with that? And do they want to do it? And, how would they make that work in the game? How would they change it to the UI? It's one of those things that I don't think will happen. But it's a nice idea. It's a fun idea. I know people are like, but that would be so cool. But, there's so much more to War Thunder than just bombers. So, like, are we going to do that in other, like, tanks then, or...
Yeah, and even then, if they incorporate something like that, I mean, we're talking about, like, you can come across a team where it's like a total of 3 planes. but each plane's got like how many players in it. They'd have to like up the player count, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bit of a balancing question you got to think about too.
So while that is like to me is a fantasy that would be great fun. Like, it sounds amazing, but it's one of those things that if the game doesn't have it to begin with, like if that's not a main feature of this game, we're not gonna see it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they'd rather just have you spawn in multiple times with, like the mixed events. They didn't up the player count, but they still had, tanks and air. So how did you don't come in the game with just the ground. You come in with both air and ground. So it's up to you whether or not you can fly or tank at the same in the same game mode, right? So I mean, if you're doing the absolute sim events and you want to do it because you love tanking, but you won't fly the plane. You're limiting yourself to only like a total of 2 spawns compared to some guys if they know how to fly a little bit in sim, or at least even give it a try, then they'll have all 3 spawns of 1 plane and 2 tanks potentially. And that seems to be War Thunder's way around it instead of doing like multi-crews and stuff like that. And not having to expand the total player count. Now, it'd be interesting when World War mode comes out. I'd love to see one
whatever
day War Thunder would actually. Yeah, whatever. I mean, like, I mean, is every map going to be along a shoreline so boats can be participating, or like?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what world mode could be again another topic for a whole half episode, I think. So we can fantasize about what we want it to be.
Yeah, holy shit! Look at the time.
I am looking at the time. I'm trying to get to the point where I can say, because unfortunately, if we are sticking with the time, the thing is, what I think that we have left in this topic would be like, we touched it a little bit, is base rushers, like at least when we talked a little bit about bombers in arcade and stuff like that, like how they do what they do and stuff like that, but and air starts, like, is there anything we can shortly say about those 2 things? Is there anything you guys feel you wanna mention about those questions?
I mean, let's be honest, air starts are necessary. As we've also discussed with different payloads like the B-29, could you implement more health on bases so that way it's not just one hitting everything? Like, if it takes if the H6K has 2,000 pounds worth of bomb load and it takes 3 runs, is it really fair to say that the B-29 that has 6,000 only takes 1 run? Like, could you then times that by 6? 3.
There's that, and there's other things like you can also incorporate more objectives for the bombers, not just 3 crosshairs in a runway. I mean, I don't know.
They have the moving vehicles too that are fighting, right? They have the moving vehicles, right? The ground forces. That is on the map.
I mean, a little more depth to the mini game. The little micro games you do within the round would be nice. More diversity in that. Giving the bombers something more interesting to do instead of just going to the same 3 points.
One thing that was said in chat all the way back at the beginning of this topic was that someone in Twitch chat, sorry if I don't remember your nickname, said or mentioned that it should not, like, taking out the bomb targets, like those 3 bomb targets and maybe even the airfield, should not end the game. It should, like, he wanted something like half of the tickets, like something like a major part towards victory. I mean, I guess technically could end the game if you're down to, down a lot, but he didn't want it to finish the game, like where it's like, all right, all targets been taken out, and now it's just gonna bleed out.
Yeah.
And I could agree with that. I actually feel that it shouldn't end the game, because you do see that like a squadron of 4 pre-made goes into a game, all bombers like whoop-a-doo, like just rushing, and they might bring 5 bombers each, and they're just doing nothing but doing that, and you'll have the shortest game in your life. No matter if you're on the winning or the losing team, like, it will be a short game. And those games go really quick when that happens. Especially if you end up with that in both teams. You're like, where's the fighters? Oh, it's just bombers. Like, and it's like, who bumps it first?
Dabble on the ideas of, like, if you're bombing certain things in the game that will do things like delay the respawn of enemy planes or something like that. little
That is
weird,
such a good idea already there.
little perky things like that, or if you bomb out, I don't know. Like there's certain maps that actually have bridges that stop the AI tanks from getting over certain rivers and stuff like that, stopping the inevitable loss of a certain location. But that pertains to sim mode a bit more. It's not so much arcade. Like when it comes to like arcade, if like, you were to implement more bomber diversity, it'd be nice to see negative or positive impacts to your team
Now
that
you're
they
talking
could
about
do.
things that I just makes me think like now you're just fueling me with ideas where why isn't it like this? Why doesn't the ground forces matter more then? Why isn't it like maybe instead of bomb targets, maybe it's like objectives that your AI ground forces have to capture? Why isn't it so that instead of bombing your bombers bombing these pre-made like small square bases, why don't they go after bridges to stop the advancing forces of the enemy? Things like that. Why can we have that depth into the
There's
game?
a lot of potential for them to do some things definitely to, because off the start when they started doing the whole three base, 3-2-1 punch airfield, it would work for the time being, but it's starting to feel like it's just this repetitious A B C and 1-2-3 punch, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, I'm full for that to see any type of depth they can bring, especially to make just a little bit more enjoyable, for a little more purpose instead of just being this support role where you knock out an X amount of ground target number to try to beat theirs to 0, right? 24-24, and just gotta get that to 0 as quick as possible, or just rushing these bases exactly to give them a little bit more micro game would be nice, definitely.
All
For
right.
sure.
And do you want to say anything about our starts, Adam, or packs? Is there anything you want to add to that?
Again,
It
they
kind of
need to
feels
be in
like
the
it's
air.
a good mechanic.
It is, and they do need to be in the air. Like what would like you're not gonna expect a B-17, and there aren't even airfields that can have every
We're
bomber take
gonna
off.
have them take off, and I mean, if you want to have bombers go high altitude, like it's a good mechanic. I mean, I don't think it takes away too much from the game. It actually just makes the game more. It's this balance between realism and fun.
There's certain maps that need tweaking to like their exact position of where they start, but besides that, it's needed just for the nature of that plane.
Yeah, you have to imagine they have already taken off way before and flown all the way there.
Exactly, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether what altitude they start and stuff like that, there might be certain instances of where that seems not correct, but overall, I pretty much agree that bombers need to start up there. It wouldn't make sense for them to start down with the fighters or on a runway. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, okay then. This is the end of the first episode of War Talk, and I mean, boy, was I worried about the amount of topics and how much time we were gonna need. And
I told you.
And I want to point something out to Twitch chat before we started. They're like, prepare for Scream monologue. He can talk so much. I told you guys I was probably gonna be the one talking the least, because I've seen these two guys. Holy shit! Like, you should have seen these guys or heard these guys like before we even started. Somebody had to go like, stop it, stop burning fuel. And
I think it helped. It was a good warm-up session. I'm sure we'll do it again next week.
Hey, what's the name of the cat?
We'll start talking about. Oh!
Look, he's got a penis on his face.
Wow.
What the bloody hell? Oh my god.
Hair.
Okay, what has
be unseen.
I was gonna say that. What has been seen?
He's such a dick.
Oh, poor cat.
Yeah. Wow. You've done that on purpose, haven't you? You
Yeah.
dyed it. You dyed it.
Yeah, I totally painted that on.
Well, this has been a pleasure. This has been a great experience, and thank you all for watching. The plan and the goal of this is to do this on a weekly basis. We started today at 8 p.m. GMT. I think we're gonna try and have that as a running goal. This was our pilot. We will evaluate. We will talk about what we think went good, what we think went bad, all things like that. And we hope you enjoyed watching or listening, or maybe maybe you will enjoy listening to this as it's up on YouTube later in in the future. And yeah, thank you, Pax. Thank you, Adam, for joining me in this podcast. And we will see you guys next time.
Later.